Today we meet Ellie from a Persian background. She shares her migration stories and 2 favourite recipes. But first, let's check out her pantry essentials. Okay, Ellie, we've got some wonderful items in front of us, and these are the sort of items you'd find in a typical Persian kitchen. So start from this side here. What have you got there?
This is the most expensive spice in the whole world.
Yep.
And this is the saffron thread,
Saffron.
which is called also the red gold. And it is used in every dishes, savory or sweet, doesn't matter, you know. And we use it to the extent that we are called rich people. So we are not rich, but we love our saffron. And brewing saffron is kind of like traditionally it is used with this kind of mortar and pestle, and using a cube sugar and putting the cube sugar inside, and some of the saffron thread goes in, and we just grind them together until the saffron is kind of like a powder shape, and then we dissolve it in either the ice cube or boiling water. But my method is something different. I use one of the jar jams, and I put the saffron threads in, and then I'm using this because it will. And then I pour the boiling water on and put the lid on, and I leave it outside the fridge, and then I would transfer it to the fridge after it is cooled down. And this one is after only 2.5 hours that I did
Look
it.
at the color.
So yes, the color came out, and I keep it in the fridge for about 2 months. This is my pride and joy into making this one.
Definitely,
to shine
such a
for
big
any
ingredient.
dish.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And then here I have the hedge mustard, which is khakshir, called khakshir in Persian, and it is used for drinks.
Okay.
And added to the rose water that we have here, and sugar and water, and it is so body refreshing and cooling, and it's very good for the summertime.
Yeah.
Also, the other ingredient is basil seed, which is kind of like a chia seeds.
Yeah.
And it would absorb water, and it would
expand.
expand.
Oh, right.
Yes. And it is also for the shorba, sharbat, and kind of a drink.
And got to have some rice noodles.
It's actually the wheat flour.
Wheat flour
and,
noodles.
They are the Persian noodles used for Persian traditional soup.
Yeah.
Noodle soup, and we just make them in 3/4.
Oh, so you always break them up.
Yes,
Okay.
break them up.
Yeah.
And because they expand and they become bigger, and it's. This dish has herbs and beans in it, and it has the curd also, which is making it really tasty.
Yeah.
And it is something definitely Persian.
Yeah, very
Definitely
traditional.
Persian, yes, yeah. And the sumac that we use, it's a kind of like red to it, and it's not brownish. So we sprinkle that over the
Meat.
kebabs.
Yep, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we use it as this. We don't add it to any dish that is going to be cooked. So it
at
is,
the end.
Yes,
Yep.
it's a sprinkle at the end.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And now moving down this side, we've got some yellow sour plums.
Yes.
That looks very interesting. What would you use this for?
Snacking on.
So you just eat it on its own?
Yes,
Yep.
yeah, I love to snack on them, and it's like a fruit bar.
Yeah.
Yep, and also we use them in chicken dishes, and sometimes in the lamb dishes. We add that to the stew, and it would bring up the flavor of the sourness of these plums to the dish. And yeah,
Looks good.
Thank
and
you.
pomegranate paste.
yes,
That looks good.
Oh my gosh, this is I'm not going to talk about the brand, but this is the best brand, and the paste is sour, it's not sweet. So we add this one to side dishes and also to the stew, and we have a very specific stew which has walnut and this paste.
And of course, you need rose water.
Rose water,
Yeah.
yes. And rose water is commonly used in sweets and desserts.
Yes.
But also we use it in a stew.
Okay.
To make
Balance
it
it.
complicated.
Yeah. Now on my side here, I've got some dried tarragon.
Yes, it's dry tarragon, and it is commonly used in every cuisine, but it is a very expensive herb too. And the alternative for fresh herb is just getting the
dried.
tarragon, and it's so cheap, getting it dried and easy to
Tastes just the
use.
same.
Yes,
Yeah.
the same. It's
And
the
this
same.
looks similar. What's this one?
And this is the fenugreek and
Fenugreek.
yes. This one we only find this in Persian shops because it is in Persian cuisine. The herbs and the leaves are used, but in other cuisines the seeds are used and the seeds powder are used most commonly. And this is something that we use in Persian for, and one of the national dishes, which is gourmet sabzi, has to have this fenugreek, and
Very
the
important.
taste wouldn't come together if it
Didn't have
this,
it.
Yes, this isn't there.
Yeah. And also dehydrated herbs as well.
Yes. Those herbs are used for this Persian noodle that I just told you. So
That one there?
yes, this is the noodles that I use. Those herbs I use with this, and also to make the gourmet sabzi too.
Oh, okay. Yep. Very important, this one. And behind it, I've got this barberry.
Barberry, yes. It's a berry, kind of like. So I'm just holding this, and this is a berry. A taste is sour, and it tastes like cranberry.
Yeah.
But cranberry goes to the sweetness. This comes to the more sour taste.
It's sour.
And we use it for rice and garnishing the rice and some of the stews that it's just a stew that we use it in the stew. And for making this, we add sugar and oil to this, and it would be like crispy barberry.
Nice.
Yeah,
Sounds great. Lovely. Well, thank you so much for showing me all your items. There's so much to learn about. So interesting. But you do cooking classes, so anyone who wants to learn more recipes, be able to get you to come over and cook some recipes?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I would love to have everybody with me, and I love to just teach anybody to how to just incorporate the Persian dishes into their life too.
Yeah, definitely. Looks good. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Could you tell me about your background, where you came from and how long it's been since you've been in Australia?
We came almost 11 years ago from Iran straight to Adelaide, and we migrated based on my husband wanted to start a new adventure.
Tell me about when you were living in Iran.
Yes.
So when you were growing up, watching your family, your mother cook dinner,
Yeah.
what sort of recipes would she make and that you sort of remember the memory of your childhood?
From my back memories from my childhood, it was like my mom had been a very good cook, and most of the time we neglect cooking ourselves. I have two other sisters and a brother, and but when we got married and we moved miles away from my mom, so I had to learn, and I had to teach myself how to cook and how to bake. And one of the things that she would do most beautifully was one of her soup, which is very rich in flavors, and it's a barley soup. It has eggplant and tomato, so that was one of the things that I miss, and I cannot just replicate the flavors yet.
Is it hard to get the ingredients?
Yeah. No, it's not the hard the ingredients are available here, but the taste and the flavors to get
exactly the same.
Yeah, it's been a challenge. So, yeah.
You both met in Iran. Tell me that story. How did you both meet?
I had an application to immigrate to Australia, but I decided to get married, so I asked my uncle. So my uncle was hiring people for the company, and Elham went for hire, put the application.
Yeah.
So when my uncle saw her and said, "Oh, she's very good," and then she offered me to go and then for proposal.
Oh,
So that was the start. I said I'm just going to Australia, and she just maybe mentioned that my uncle is living in Adelaide too.
Yeah, and then you want to come to Australia?
Yeah. So I had offer for a sponsorship in Adelaide, so that's why we came here.
Yeah,
For him, it was a skilled migration. For me, it was a love migration.
It worked out well.
Yes.
That's good. When you moved to Australia, was it difficult for you were you homesick? Did you miss the food? Was it a bit of a culture shock? How did you find that transition?
It was because from the city that we came, I was born in Tehran, but I was raised in Mashhad, and that was the place that we met. So Mashhad is a very busy city. It's like Melbourne, and when we came to Adelaide, it was a bit quiet for us. So, and the Persian shop that we got to know at the start, it wasn't like. Nowadays it's all over the Adelaide. We can go and shop for Persian Afghan grocery shops.
And I guess now that you've had your son here, how important is it for you to try to remember your culture and your tradition and cook your favorite food? What's your favorite food?
Sumac.
Sumac, yeah.
And he knows those stuff.
He's just shy. So you also now run your business where you cook Persian food for people to try, teach them recipes.
Yeah.
What made you decide to set up that business?
After he was born, I was thinking there is a lack in Persian cuisine community, and I was thinking to go and present something which is not kebab and which is not a stew, and something is from wider variety of the Persian cuisine has to offer.
So what are we going to be making today?
For today, I'm going to show you how to make potato pate, and also a dessert which is Persian rice pudding, and we can just alternate that with saffron and chocolate and make it child friendly too.
I bet you like that, won't you? Great. Well, let's move into the kitchen and we can start cooking.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to be making a dessert today. What are we making?
We are making a dish called freni in Persian, and it is a rice pudding, and you can use the rice powder as the main ingredient, and you can also get that in gluten-free version, which at the end you would have a gluten-free dessert. But for speeding the process, today I'm going to use the potato starch, and this one making time is less, so I'm going to use this
Express
one
version.
Yes, express version. And for this dish, I'm going to use also the rose water and some milk.
Yes.
And for the garnishes, we would use some pistachio and rose petals, and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, it's easy.
Easy.
Easy
Yeah,
recipe. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. So what do we do first?
I'm going to measure the potato starch.
About a cup.
Yes, in a cup, and this is a recipe that I don't have an actual recipe for it. It's an eyeballing.
Just go by feel.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's the mom's method, just eyeballing everything. And I pour this one into a bowl.
Yep.
and then I would add some milk to this one.
How much milk? 1 cup?
2 to this one, and about 2 would go to the pot too. If you want to make this one in a traditional method, you would add all the ingredients to the pot and start stirring at the pot. But I would do this like this and leave it aside, and then strain it so there is not there's no
Lumpy. So this sort of dissolves in the milk, and you leave that for a bit. Okay.
And also at the time that I pour the rest of the milk into the pot, the milk in the pot gets the time to just warm up. So it is ready for this mixture to be added. And then the rest is just stirring quickly, and the dessert will come together.
Sounds so easy. I can do this.
Easy. This is the very easy, and it can be used for children for their breakfast time. So besides any pancake, you can add this one to your weekend routine too.
Looks so simple.
Yeah.
So 2 cups milk,
2 cups
2 parts. Yeah.
Yes, to the pot, and on just high temperature.
And we'll let it warm up.
Yes, yeah. And in the meantime, I'm going to add sugar to this one. And for sugar amount, you can go not too sweet or sweet enough.
Just depending on what you prefer.
Yes, I usually add 3/4.
3/4, yeah.
And I would add this one from the start because I want the sugar to dissolve.
Yeah.
And we keep the rose water to end, and we add about 1/4 of the cup. Because the rose water aroma we don't want to evaporate when cooking. Now it's just waiting time.
We just have to wait.
Yes.
Okay.
When we're stirring, the starch that gets to the bottom of the bowl, we just keep dissolving that. So it would make our work easier when we're straining that.
I felt there's a bit of starch at the bottom, but now it's starting to feel like it's dissolving.
Yeah, good. I think that would be good and enough.
Good.
I'm going to put it in a higher temperature. Yes, you can have it in breakfast time. Usually it is served for licorice warm, and for children and sore throat it's the best thing. And if you go with the potato starch for the sore throat, it's more calming for the throat.
So it's good for a sick child, a sore throat?
Yes,
good. And they'll love it, I'm sure.
Yes, yeah. Now it's time to strain our mixture. From this time I have to be quick because the starch, when it hits the hot milk, it would get to the bottom, and it...
You'll have to stir it quickly then?
Yes, from this moment on. And this is the one that we got from the not dissolved.
So you don't want that in there, don't want any lumpy parts.
Nice and good here. You can see that it's thickening.
I can feel it's quite thick now. Yeah. Because that starch is really starting to really thicken it up a bit. Yeah. It happens quite fast.
This is the way.
Oh, nice and thick. And wow.
Yeah. And now's the time to just add the rose water, and that's it.
That's so easy. That's all you need.
For today, I'm going to make it 2 color and add the saffron to this one, which is great in taste too.
Sounds amazing. Great, well that looks beautiful. I can't wait to taste later on.
Yes, you will. Thank you. Now, Vivian, we are going to make an intro, which you can have it as an appetizer or main dish, and it is called kuku sibzamini. And kuku means something like pate,
Yeah.
and sibzamini is the same as potato. So
Okay.
it is the potato pate.
Potato pate. Wow.
English
Sounds
words.
good.
So for this, you can use your grater or you can use your
Processor.
and we want everything to be finely chopped and diced. So
It's easier to then
yes.
process. So how much have you got? 2 large onions?
2 large onions and about 7 medium potatoes.
Should I start blitzing this up?
Yes, please.
Yep. Is this a dish that you would have back in Iran with the family?
Yes, it's a picnic dish.
Oh,
actually.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, when you go on a picnic, the night before you can make it ready and just wrap it and in a.
So you strain it to
Yeah.
get rid of the juices?
Yes.
Because you want the mixture to be dry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We make it dry and then we add the.
Right, second onion.
Yes, please.
And you're going to start grating?
Yes, at the same time I'm just going to grate and show the consistency, but for this batch we are going to use the food processor again.
Okay,
So
yep.
For just showing how it's how fine it has to be grated.
Yeah, so finely grated,
yes,
yeah.
And then we're going to
It's over here.
press it again, and we cannot do this front of the ahead of the time because the potato color would be dark, and so we have to do it instantly and when we are cooking the dish good on the stove. To this one I'm going to add 3 eggs.
It's very simple so far.
Yeah. So which one would break? Always the
The last one. Last bit.
This one too. Yes.
Here we go. It's all fluffy.
Yes. Oil to this one too, because we want the oil to be hot. And
That's just vegetable oil?
yes, it's
Oh, canola?
oil.
Yeah.
This is the turmeric, which is one of the common spices used in most of the cuisines.
It's about a
About
teaspoon? Tablespoon? Yeah.
About a tablespoon. Yes, yeah. And also some of our saffron juice.
You use saffron a lot.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But for this one, we just need the aroma.
Oh, okay, so not too much.
We don't want the juice itself to be added that much. And also some black pepper. And it's about a quarter of a spoon, a teaspoon, sorry.
Yep.
And you can always add, red pepper to this one, to
yeah.
anything that you like.
Extra spice you like.
Yes, yeah. And also about half a spoon of salt.
Okay, excellent. And just mix it all in.
Yes, please.
Spices smells amazing.
And the sizzle would be good, so I'm adding that.
Ooh.
Yeah. And make sure that your temperature is high. When it is flat, I put back the temperature a bit down,
yeah.
so we would give it time. So leave it stay for about 5 minutes longer, and then check with your spatula and see the corners. If the corners are golden brown, it means that your center is enough and cooked for just flipping.
I can learn.
I make the edges loose with my spatula, so everything is at the center.
Yeah.
And I use the lid of my pan to do so. I get 2 of my.
This is it. Let's see how it looks.
Keep praying.
Wow. Oh, that
Yay,
looks
good job.
amazing.
Yes.
Good
And
work.
then I use my spatula again.
Yep.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And slide it back in.
And then we wait again for the other side to be like this, and in a low temperature to becoming like this color. And when it's like this, it means it is well cooked and ready to serve.
Thank you for watching this episode of Cooking of Culture. Don't forget to follow us on social media for all the latest news and recipes.
How are you? Hi. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
I'm Vivian. Nice to meet you.
Give it a try.